Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat, with another Excel lesson on statistics. We're going to do minimum, maximum, and average, and summing things up and get everything all sorted for Kate's coffee and cones. So let's get into it. All right, so remember, I'm a bit of a slow talker, so it's probably best if you set the video play speed to 1.5 speed, okay? Or even 1.75 speed. Just go down the YouTube player bar, go to that tools cog, make sure it's on HD, and then click on playback speed and set that to 1.5 or 1.75 and the video will flow a lot better. All right, this is a quick lesson, so we don't have an index timeline for this, and I promise I'm going to make this one as quick as possible because the last lesson was so long. So, hey guys, get off the games and get on to doing your schoolwork. Here we go, Excel statistics function. So we're going to work out how to relocate our totals to other parts of the sheet. So we've kind of been doing totals at the bottom of columns with the auto sum function in previous lessons, but we're going to locate them elsewhere on the sheet this time and show you how to do that by using the equals sum function and formulation. So make sure you've done the previous lessons before doing this lesson. You must do the lessons in the order which they're in the playlist on YouTube. All right. We're going to do the sum totals function equals sum. We're going to do the maximum function to work out maximum values, minimum function to work out minimum values, average function to work out the average of all of the values. And we're also going to look at Excel autofill for days of the week or months of the year. You can get Excel to autofill some things in to save you some typing time with its artificial intelligence. So that's a really good thing as well. All right, so Kate needs to know for a coffee and ice cream van business how things is going. So we're going to do some business analysis for her using Excel. So here's Kate's coffee and cones, the spreadsheet we're starting out with. So she only works from Saturday to Wednesday with the van selling coffee and ice cream and milkshakes. But so we got Saturday to Wednesday here. We've got cappuccinos, some lattes, mochas, and espressos, just some sales figures there. And I thought I'd change these, but anyway, we'll run with those. Those are okay. And what we're going to do is instead of, we're going to do the totals for cappuccino for the whole working week, for latte and for mocha and for espresso down in these boxes, which you can do with auto sum like we've done previously. We're going to add up all those boxes and get a grand total, which you can do with auto sum. But instead of putting the totals for Saturday, Sunday, Monday across in here by doing a crossways adding or totaling like we've done in previous lessons, we're going to have them in an entirely separate location on the spreadsheet. So we're going to have the totals for each week, which is these rows added across each time. We're going to put them in boxes down here instead. So we're going to shift them down to here, which is a new thing. And then we're going to calculate for those days of the week. We're going to find out which was the maximum amount of sales, what was the minimum amount of sales of all coffees, and what was the average number of coffees of all types that we were selling per day. And that'll help her with her planning and her business analysis. So when we're finished, it should look like this. That we're going to have the cappuccino, latte, mocha, and espresso totals, but the day of the week totals are going to be listed separately down here, okay? And the smallest number of sales was 79 on the Tuesday, so we got minimum. Excel will work this out as 79. Excel will scan through all of that and find the biggest one, which is 132. It'll also add these up and divide by the number of things added and work out 101, all right, for that. So that's what we're going to do. So this, to save you typing time, if you go to the video description, you can download this start spreadsheet. Okay, and then basically we're going to fill in the boxes on it. So let's get to work, and let's just also use the snipping tool like we usually do. So we'll start up and have our snipping tool. And there's a nice picture of flowers from the previous lesson. Right, so we need to do a new snip. And what we're going to snip out is we'll just snip out, whoops, this bit here so that we know what answers we should be getting when we do our spreadsheet, okay? So edit, copy that from the snipping tool. Let's get across into Excel. So here's the start spreadsheet that you're going to get. So let's just paste this over in here so we can see what we're aiming for with these values. All right, now totals. In previous lessons, we were going up the very top here on the ribbon and clicking auto sum, and then auto sum would work it out, but it's adding in this blank one as well. So we would just click back in the top one, and then we'd drag down, and then we'd have press enter and get our answer. Now notice it's using a formula called equals sum, and then it's got that sort of those columns which we dragged and colored in, highlighted with our mouse, okay? So that's how behind the scenes it's actually working. Okay, so we get 132. Now let's just right click and do a clear contents on that. And let's do it with the equal sum. So we're not going to use the auto sum up the top. Instead, we're going to use the function. So we just go equals sign and start typing sum, S-U-M. And you can see it brings up all of these different types of sums we can do. And we just need the simple sum one. So because we need this one, this function, that's what the FX means, you just double click on this with your mouse and it'll write equal sum and automatically put the bracket, all right? Now we just color in what we want to sum up, which is just these guys for cappuccino from C7 here all the way down to C11, and you press enter and it works it out, right? So let's just do it here as well. You go equals SUM, then we double click on sum when it comes up in the suggestions list, just the first one, and we drag this and we press enter. Now remember on our previous lesson, you can also copy and transpose. So we should be able to also, now that we've got this one done, go to the bottom right hand corner where that square is, move your mouse until it changes to the thin black cross instead of the thick white one, and then push down your mouse and drag that across to copy the formula and transpose it into these two columns. Okay, now has it done that properly? 25, 30, 40, 52, 72. Yes, it has. Do those answers match with what we've got over here? Yes, they do. All right, so that's doing auto sum. By doing it as an equal sum function rather than using auto sum. Now to get the grand total, all we have to do is we just go our equal sum again, and you can just type the bracket yourself if you want to like that. And we just want to sum up all of these guys. So we just color them in, and Excel does all the hard legwork for us, figuring out, oh, that's C13 to F13. Then we just press enter. Excel will put the bracket on the end. We don't even have to worry about doing that. We can be lazy. And it's 507, okay? And that is the correct value. So that's all good. Now, the statistics for coffee sold, usually we would have gone into here for Saturday, okay? And we just would have clicked auto sum, and it would figure this out, and we'd press enter, and we're putting our total there, all right? But today we're not doing it that way, so let's just right click and clear the contents on that. What we're gonna do is we wanna have these separate, and the reason we're having these separate like this is because later on when we do graphs near the end of this beginner course, this is what we need to do. We need to have our daily totals separated like this in an area. That way when we highlight them and insert the graph and get Excel to automatically draw the graph, it'll all work okay, all right? So Saturday's total, we just go equal sum. Okay, double click on sum. Now what do we need to add up for Saturday? Well, here's the Saturday row here. We're just adding up across like that, those values, right? So it's going to work out, that's C7 to F7 for us. Press enter, and then we've got it there, okay? And from here, we could even just drag across probably like that and to Wednesday, and it'll work them all out for us. And it's got 80, 60, 79. No, it has not auto sum and worked them all out for us correctly. And Excel's also showing these green squares here, green triangles, sorry, in the left-hand corner, which usually means that something's gone astray. So what you do is you go to the exclamation mark. The formula in this cell refers to a range that has an additional numbers adjacent to it. All right, so that's not good. So let's just color those in and right click and clear those contents. Something went wrong there. All right, so to get Sunday, we have to go equal sum. and double click on it and drag across for the Sunday one. So what happened here was that Excel's AI that it uses for copying formulas when we drag wasn't smart enough to figure that we're going way up here to get our numbers and stuff. Because we're not getting them from nearby, the artificial intelligence doesn't work. So we'll actually have to do all of these manually by the look of it. Equals sum, and we need Monday, and there's Monday, and equals sum. And we need Tuesday. So let's get Tuesday, and we've got one more to do. So Wednesday we go equals sum, double click. Then we just drag across Wednesday's values and press enter. And then we can get the whole total for the week by adding up all these guys, okay? Now you could do it the old arithmetic way if you wanted to. You could go equals click, plus, click, plus, click, plus, click, plus, click, and then press enter. Remember we did that way back early in the course and got 507, which is the right answer because that was the grand total up here as well. Or we can just go equals sum, double click on our sum, and then we just color in the ones we want to add up, which is these guys here, and press enter, which is probably a quicker way of doing it than the equals plus, click plus, click plus. Now, something else we wanted to show you, now that we've got all those figures in there, was how you type Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all right? So we're just going to clear all of these cells out, clear the contents, right-click, clear contents. Well, Excel has this auto-filling as well, which is something else we want to show you during this lesson, that you can type in Saturday, right? And then you can just go down the corner like we're copying formulas, that little right-hand corner, and get your skinny black cross and drag down and see how it's telling us the names as we do it. It's saying that'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, okay? So it can automatically fill those in for us, all right? And if we were doing months up here, like we could do September, let's say, and then if you go to that little right-hand corner and drag, all right, see how it's worked out the months for us and just put them in? So that saves you a lot of typing. That's this kind of AI that's built into Excel. Now, we don't want those. Now, what we can do is another thing. Remember, we could highlight them and clear contents. But remember up here next to the save icon up the very top of the screen, you've got this undo. So you can just press the undo autofill and then press undo again to take out September, and that's all gone. All right, and likewise, that's how we did these. Like if we just clear the contents on those guys there, all we did was we got Saturday typed in, then we went down the bottom right-hand corner, got on our skinny black cross, and we just dragged. See, it says I'm going to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all right? And so it fills those in for us. So that's a quick little trick, Excel autofill, which can save you time filling in cells. We've got days of the weeks or months of the year or things like that to do. So I love the artificial intelligence in Excel. It's so good. And right, we've just got these last ones to do. So these are new formulas, but they're very much like equals sum. It's exactly the same idea. So if we want to find the maximum value here, now this is pretty easy. I mean, we can just do it with our eyes and see, oh yeah, it's 132 looks to be the biggest number. But say we had, you know, days of the week for several months or something like that. We had lots and lots of figures to try and look through and find the biggest number. What we can do is we just do a maximum. So in here you type equals max and then double click on max, and it's the same idea as equals sum. So you just color in what you want to look at. So we want to look at these days of the week totals here, these 5 guys, and find out which was the maximum one. And then you just press enter and it'll figure it out that 132 is the maximum. If we change Saturday from 110 up to 220, see how it became the new maximum? So Excel adjusted to find the biggest one. And if we change it back to 110, then this is the biggest one here at 132. Exact same idea doing the minimum. You just go equals min. Okay, don't use these other ones, just use the normal straight min. And then the minimum, we want to find out of all of these numbers here, just those ones for days of the week, which one's the minimum. And so we just color those in and press enter. Okay, and the minimum, the smallest one, is 79 there on that Tuesday. Now, if you want to get the average here of the number of how many coffees on per day do we sell on average, you just go equals AV. Now, this one's a bit longer. You've got to use the full word, okay? So I've got to use the equals average. You'd think it'd just be equals AVG or equals AVERG, an abbreviation, but you have to use the full word average. So make sure you get equals average and double click on average. Then we just need to color these in. Don't color in the total because we don't want that big number averaging in. We just want the days of the week numbers. So make sure you color in those ones and press enter. And so on average, we sell 101 coffees per day. Now, decimal places, remember up here at the number on the ribbon, there was this increase and decrease decimal. So look, if that had come out as a decimal like this, 101.40, just make sure that you go up there and go to this right-hand one just here, set your mouse over it and hold our mouse there without pressing the button. Do not press the button. It says decrease decimal. You can just keep clicking that, and down the bottom it'll decrease it till we've got whole numbers, okay? So that's how you get a whole number value in there rather than a decimal, because you can't have 0.4 of a cup of coffee. I guess you could if you just didn't finish it and left it there on the table or poured it down the sink, but we want whole numbers here, so 101 coffees per day on average. And that's all the correct answers, and that is finished. Okay, so that's basically how we do equals sum, equals max, equals min, equals average, and how we can also use Excel's AI to do autofill if we've got days of the week or months of the year to fill in. And that is pretty much the lesson. So that was it, doing Kate's coffee and cones of coffee side of things. Now the challenge task for you is to work out the ice cream and milkshakes, okay? So there's a start sheet you can get if you go to the link in the video description. That has a link to the downloads. You can get this to start you off to save you doing all the coloring in and putting the numbers in, because we've already done coloring in and numbers and sort of outlining cells and cell borders and all that stuff in previous lessons, which you should have done. You should not be doing this lesson unless you've done the previous ones. So this is pre-made up for you. So from that, we're just going to fill in these totals, but this time we're splitting it. We want to split up the ice cream, these chocolate brown ones here, from the strawberry pink ones down here. All right, so we want it to give us the coffee, ice cream totals and shakes totals separately. And I can't wait for summer and the lifting of these damn Wuhan flu restrictions we've got in Melbourne, so that we can actually go out again and do stuff, because we've been in lockdown for what seems like months and months now, and go to the beach and get an ice cream when it's hot and sunny in summer. There's nothing better than a double choc going down the beach and a nice, anyway, let's not talk about that. All right, so as usual, what we need to do is we need to get a copy of the finished one. So let's just do that. So we just need this bit where it's finished. So you can pause the video, use the snipping tool and copy that. And we need to take that to our spreadsheet, which is here. So that's the one you'll download, the ice cream start. And we'll just put this guy over here so we can see where we're supposed to be heading with this. Alrighty, so let's get started. Well, I'll get you started. As a challenge task, you have to finish it off. But because we're doing the ice cream totals, all right, so for Saturday, we want to do totals. So we're doing summing up. So you'll type in equals sum and double click on your sum. And then for Saturday, when you color down, for Saturday, remember we only want the ice cream, so only color in the brown ones there. Don't color in these. We just want the ice creams for Saturday. So we go to the Saturday column and just color that stuff in, and then that should set it up in our formula, and we press enter, and that gives us our 681 for Saturday. When you want to get the shakes totals, okay, because we're doing totals, it's summing up, so you just go equals sum and double click on sum. And we just want to get these. This is the Saturday column, but this time we just want the shakes. We don't want the ice cream. So you only color in those three, and that'll give you that. Now, whether it's going to work when you go across ways and try and copy the formula. It may not work because Excel will get confused with adjacent cells and put green triangles. In fact, it's even put green triangles on the side of these. So I better see what's going on there. So what's it saying? The formula in this cell refers to a range that has additional numbers adjacent to it. Okay, so Excel's noticing that we only colored in the brown ones and we didn't do these ones. And it's saying, hey, did you make a mistake and forget to copy in these pink ones as well when you were doing the total? Well, we didn't make a mistake. So you just need to click on that down arrow and say, ignore that error. And it'll be the same thing here. When you click on it and mouse over, just with your mouse button up there, the formula cell, yep, okay, so we colored in the pink ones and Excel's saying, hey, why didn't you color in the whole column and do the brown ones as well? Well, that's all okay. That's exactly what I want to do. So click that down arrow and just say ignore error. All right, and then you'll probably have to do each of these separately by just equals sum, go to the Sunday column, just get the cones, the brown ones, all right, and put them in. Now it's given me an error there with a name. The formula contains unrecognized text. Okay, I probably colored in something wrong accidentally. So let's just try that again. Equals sum, double click on sum, and then I'll be a bit more careful this time. I think I colored in the heading as well. If I do that, then it gets us 358, and then you'll have to do equal sum and do the pinkies for Sunday. All right, so I should be able to finish that off. Then we've got the Monday to Friday. What's the maximum ice creams we sold? Well, you know, you go equals max, and then you go from Monday through to Friday. What was the maximum? Well, this is where we had the totals. So you're going to have to sort of, you know, color all that in, and Excel will pick out which is the maximum. Now it's done that name thing again, which means I must have typed in something wrong. Equals max. So I'm just dragging carefully along those and pressing enter. 681 is the biggest one at the moment, but you need to finish typing them in and Excel will pick that. Here you're going to do equals min, here you're going to do equals average, but you're only going to look at these brown totals for that. When you're doing the shakes, like what was the maximum shakes, you'll be looking at these rows here. So, you know, you'll type in equals max there. All right, and then you'll color in all of these. These were the totals for each day for shakes, and Excel's going to pick out the smallest one. Now at the moment you've only got one in there, 378, so it's picking that out as the smallest. All right, and then you should get these answers shown here on the right hand side, and that will prove that you know how to do all of your Excel functions for statistics, which will helps the business owner work out, you know, Saturday we're doing twice as many ice creams nearly as shakes. So yeah, so that's something to know for when we're taking the van out on a Saturday. It looks like make sure you got plenty of ice cream, because we always do a lot more ice cream than we do shakes on a Saturday and things like that. So that's all good. That helps them with their planning and helps them with their budgeting and everything else. So business analysis, it's called, when we put the data in and get some answers out of it like this by using the Excel functions. And that should be our lesson done. So that's the challenge task. You should be able to do that. And then remember, I always excel at Excel. If you want to get one of these fabulous Excel t-shirts, we don't get anything from this. We're just letting you know. Go to Microsoft Excel t-shirt on eBay, and you can, there's a couple of sellers. They're around $20 Australian each. And you can get those. They just will take a long time to come because of this Wuhan flu's delayed everything all around the world and messed up 2020 pretty much, but it hasn't messed up learning Excel. And so that's it. The next steps, what do you need to do? Well, make sure you do that challenge task to reinforce the learning that you do know how to do the Excel functions in this lesson, and then make sure you're doing these videos in order as you work through them, and subscribe to our channel, because that way you'll see when the next Excel video is coming out and you'll know you need to do that lesson, and we will see you in that next lesson.